is Lorna Takehara-Strand, chair of Oahu Democrats, with candidate Corey Rosenlee, who is running for House of Representatives District 39. Aloha, Corey, and tell us, where were you born and about your childhood ohana?
Aloha, Lorna. I was born and raised here in Hawaii. My mom, she was a special education teacher at Princess Kaiolani and Wilson Elementary. My dad was a social work professor at Manoa, and later on started an organization called Adult Friends for Youth that worked with disadvantaged youth. So I guess from my parents, I really learned how important it is that we take care of each other.
And what about now? Where do you live in your adult ohana?
So when I was at Manoa, I met my wife. At the time, I was Corey Rosen. She was Lisa Lee. So when we got married, we combined our names to be Rosenlee. And she got a job teaching philosophy at West Oahu. So we moved out to the other side. And so she was teaching at West Oahu, and I started teaching at Campbell High School, where I've been now for 16 years. And my daughter is a proud graduate of Campbell and is now at Manoa going after her English degree.
Wow. Please tell us about someone who's your personal hero who keeps inspiring you to move forward every day.
Well, I'm a social studies teacher. So the one, that comes up to is the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And one of my favorite quotes that he said is the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. I'm proud to call myself a progressive because I think we keep on trying to fight for justice and equality for all.
And what have been some defining moments or events in your life that helped shape you as a Democrat?
So since I was 13 years old, I started helping volunteer at my dad's organization, Adult Friends for Youth. And oftentimes I would see, these kids that would get in trouble with the law. And it just always amazed me that my dad's organization always had to fight for funding. But for $5,000 a year, they could take a kid that had trouble with the law, turn them around, and turn them, many of them, into contributing members of society. Yet we would rather spend $80,000 a year to throw these kids who were oftentimes just like me in many ways, and we'd rather put them in prison. And that just made no sense to me at all.
What does serving the people mean to you?
So our community, the district I'm in right now, is dealing with a scandal. The past representative was caught taking a bribe. And so I think it's so important to remember that as an elected official, you are truly a servant of the people, and that we need to take money out of the legislature so that people know and can trust that when a legislator is making a decision, it's what's best for the people and not for themselves.
Why do you believe you're the right Democrat for the job of representative for District 39?
So I already have a history of organizing my community to do what's best for Hawaii and my community as well. When I first got to Campbell, I was in classrooms that would reach 90, 100 degrees. And so I organized my school to fight for air conditioning. And we fought not just for our own school, but for all the schools in Hawaii. I was really proud that when I became president of the Hawaii State Teachers Association, I continued that fight, and we were able to get 2,000 rooms air conditioned. And just this last year, I worked with legislators to make sure that we got another 2,000 rooms air conditioned to make sure that none of our kids are in hot classrooms. And that's part of one of the many issues that I fought to, making sure that in certain areas that we pay teachers more to make sure that all of our children have qualified teachers.
If you win and can accomplish two things while you're in office, what would they be?
There are some basics that we just don't have in Hawaii that basically happens around the rest of the world. In all industrialized countries around the world, they have paid family leave, and we do not have that in Hawaii. So that's priority number one. Priority number two is Hawaii ranks last in the nation when it comes to 3 and 4-year-olds attending pre-kindergarten. And so what I'd like to see is universal preschool for all of our keiki.
If Democrats want to volunteer for your campaign, how do they contact you?
They can go to my website, www.coreyrosenlee.com. On there, we have our Facebook, email, and they have my phone number as well, so they can contact me.
Wonderful. Mahalo.
Thank you, Lorna.